Hey guys, what's up, what's up? Feeling groovy. Welcome to 1969. Big year, all kinds of things happen. And fondue. Year of fondue, actually, decade of fondue. Fondue was very big in the 60s and the 70s. So let's revisit 1969 together. Let's get groovy and let's get to. In the 60s and 70s, people were having these fondue parties. So it became popularized in that era, and that's why we're having a fondue party today. But I'm not sharing any of it. So I'm going to show you how to make a traditional one. And the traditional one uses certain ingredients. So I'm going to show you now, okay? So I needed a heat-resistant surface. So you're going to take a couple cloves of, 1 clove of garlic cut in half, and you're just going to rub the pot with the fresh garlic. The garlic, get that nice garlic juice on there, okay? And now what we're gonna do is we're going to add, this is all measured out already, 3/4 of a cup of milk. I'm using 2%, that's what I had in my fridge. You can use whatever, all right? But the more fat the milk has, probably the more creamier it's gonna be, right? So now we're going to turn it on to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and you want to use a wooden utensil to stir in the cheese and just mix everything around because it will damage the pot otherwise. I have 1 pound of Swiss cheeses, okay? It's getting hot already. So we're gonna mix that in. This is shredded. You want to shred the cheese because it's easier to, it'll melt evenly. And you want to mix with that 3 tablespoons of flour to keep it smooth, silky, and to kind of thicken the sauce. So that's why they add like cellulose, or you call it wood pulp, to shredded cheese to keep it from sticking. So we're gonna add that in. So the cheeses I've used, the Swiss cheeses, I've used Gouda, authentic Gouda, medium Gouda, Fontina, and Gruyere. And Gruyere is probably my favorite cheese, honestly. Swiss cheeses, definitely been my favorite lately. So that's melting wonderfully. I wish I could show you. I'll show you when it's all done, but it's melting here. See? Just melt that in. And you want to do, I guess, a figure 8 motion. Now this pot came with the recipe for a traditional Swiss, so that's awesome. We're gonna melt the cheese in. Now a traditional Swiss fondue also has white wine, and you want Sauvignon Blanc. You want it to be room temperature. You're going to use 3/4 of a cup of that. So I'm just going to let it simmer for a few minutes and tell you what I have on the side here. So I'm going to enjoy a glass of wine, and that's why I'm getting red, because when I drink, I get red. I have some fresh baked French bread. I have some bacon with some jalapenos on top, and I have some roasted mini potatoes with carrots and some gherkins. Now you can dip anything. You can dip broccoli, would be nice with this, Brussels sprouts, little tomatoes, different kinds of bread. Like, the possibilities are seriously endless. In this time, give it to me easy, and let me try with pleasure hands. All right. I think that's done. So we're gonna put it on warm. Let's try it. Get right out. Get right out. Shh, I say shh and get right out. 1969. So this is, yeah, fondue parties were big. I showed you how to make the traditional Swiss fondue. 1969, so such a huge year. You had the Apollo 11 moon landing, Neil Armstrong landing, first moonwalk ever. You had Woodstock. I mean, peace and love, right? You had the hippie movement, Flower Child. You had this movement of people who were just protesting. You had the right smack in the middle of the Vietnam War. That war that claimed so many lives. So hippies were protesting the war. A lot of other social unrest going on. It was a psychedelic era. You had psychedelic music, like the music in my intro. The Doors, very psychedelic rock. That was good. Okay, guys, I'm pretty full actually. That's feeling the bread and the cheese and everything's very rich. So, I really thank you for hanging out with me and coming back in time with me in this video. It was really fun. And excuse me. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys. Welcome back to another video, guys. Do you like my boho mirrors? I hope you do. They're decorations. My walls aren't so bare, except like half the house is still bare. So today I have something special for you guys. I've been slaving away in the kitchen like a 1950s housewife, and we're gonna go back in time to the 50s and eat like they did in the 1950s. And the 1950s, I guess, is gonna be kind of stereotype kind of video because, you know, stereotypically you would hear that they have a well-balanced meal, you know, a glass of milk, a slice of dessert, and, you know, meatloaf or whatever. So I'm going to show you what a typical 50s meal would be like, or what we imagine it to be, because of course I wasn't around in the 50s. Maybe some of you were, and maybe some of you can comment and let us know how it really was. Alright guys, so I'm going to do my best to do it justice. I baked a cake from the box. Betty Crocker though, who I think was a 1950s housewife if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to have a wonderful dinner. So let's get to it. Moved you a bit closer. Okay, my kitchen is a friggin' mess. So fail typical 50s housewife test right there. Alright, so let's see what we have here. Just by Googling, like researching or whatever, what a kind of a typical meal was. I've seen some videos where, you know, they have like a little salad, probably not drenched in creamy cucumber dressing, but hey. And I'm sure the portions were a lot smaller for the women. I'm sure this is like a husband size. So, but I wear the pants in this family, bitch. No. All right, sorry. I'm trying to act proper. No. So this is 2 slices of meatloaf, peas, which I don't even like, and some fluffy mashed potatoes with rich brown gravy, slice of confetti cake for dessert with French vanilla icing, and a glass of milk, because they always seem to drink milk. They think that very big on getting your calcium so you can grow up strong and join the army. I don't know. So let's have a bite of salad. Bite. You know, as much as I joke around, a big part of me misses that whole, like, wishes I could go back. I'm nostalgic for a time I wasn't even born in, but, you know, everyone had a function. Mothers took care of the family. Dads provided for the family. Everyone ate together. Meatloaf is tender, savory. Some fluffy mashed potatoes. Yeah. Another thing that was really different amongst a lot of things, but I was watching a documentary on how there's like pretty much virtually no middle class. Now this was an American documentary, but how there was no middle class, or how it was disappearing, and we're just left with the working poor. So a lot of people forced to work for giant corporations and for minimum wage, which is not enough to live off of. So you're working and you're trying to get yourself out of poverty, but you're just going nowhere. And in the 50s, there was a lot of suburban families from middle class where a single parent could earn enough to buy a house, to take care of the family. It's definitely not like that now. Both parents usually have to work nowadays. And there are exceptions, but sometimes both parents have to work more than one job, you know? But I like that old school music as well. Civil liberties were definitely different. So there are some, I mean, there is some progression, but there's also, times just seemed simpler somehow back then, you know, for the domestic life. But everyone seemed to just be playing a role, you know? And I think that's why times have changed, because you know, the housewife, we learned more about her and more about her as the years went on, and she started to rebel, and she wasn't so happy with her life. Having to freshen up and look good for the husband. They look conservative on the outside. But how many housewives do you think were wearing crotchless undies under those skirts? For the milk boy! That would totally be me. Oh, it's lunch hour. Look at the milkman. The peas mixed with the mashed potatoes are pretty good. I don't have kids, but just being, you know, stay at home, just overlooking all their duties they had to do every day. And which a lot of you still do. A lot of you out there to this day stay at home. And there's nothing wrong with that. You do it because you know it's a full-time job, so that you don't get paid for. And I just hope the husbands in the 50s showed some kind of recognition for the hard work that their wives did, but I don't think they did. Enough, maybe. I'm sure some were wonderful, but there's an exception to every rule, right? But like, yeah. Best meatloaf. Need more gravy. But I love gravy. Yeah, the cake is, I just put a piece of cake for my video, but it's still cooling off, kind of. I have to ice it. Excuse me.
Pig.
You're gonna say hi to the people?
Hi, people. I apologize for her.
I'm acting like a 50s housewife today. How they ate.
Oh, did 50s housewives belch words?
If they do, they get divorce papers, right?
Unless their husbands are cool. But no husbands were cool in the 50s. Yummy. Yummy, and a glass of milk. Crumbly cake.